Hey guys, this is Nirmal here for Technique, and today we're going to compare two entry-level smartphones, the Moto E with the Huawei Honor Holly. So Moto E is already a hit smartphone in this price point, which was released almost 6 months back and created a buzz in the entry-level segment. Now we have quite a lot of new devices, and one of them is the Huawei Honor Holly. So we'll do a comparison of these two devices and see which is the better device in this price point. So first up, let's have a quick look at the specs of this device. So the Moto E comes with a 4.3-inch QHD display. It's powered by a dual core Snapdragon processor with 1 GB of RAM. It runs the latest version of Android, that's Android 4.4.4 KitKat, and is upgradable to the Android Lollipop when it comes, so that is almost guaranteed. It has a 5 megapixel camera, that's a fixed focus camera. There is no flash included, and there is also no front facing camera. So that's the spec aspect of the Moto E. It also comes with 4 GB internal storage, which is expandable via micro SD card to 32 GB. So that's the spec aspect of the Moto E. Now moving on to the Huawei Honor Holly. So this is a new budget smartphone from the company with impressive specs. It comes with a 5-inch HD display. It's powered by 1.3 GHz quad-core MediaTek processor with 1 GB of RAM. There's an 8 megapixel rear camera with LED flash. There's also front facing 2 megapixel camera. It runs Android 4.4.2 KitKat, but there is no mention whether this will get the Android Lollipop update, so that's not mentioned by the company. And it comes with an impressive 16 GB internal storage. That's very few devices have that kind of storage in the budget segment. And it also has a micro SD card expansion slot, wherein you can expand the storage in case you feel the memory is low. So that's the spec aspect. Now let's go into the detail aspect of these devices. So now moving on to the design and build quality of these two devices. Design wise, we would say that the Huawei Honor Holly is much better because it's slimmer and easy to hold, even though it has a 5-inch display. The Moto E is not that bad, but the thickness and the design is not that really great. The thickness gives it a really bulky feel to the device, and the fit and finish and build quality of these two devices are totally different. One has a matte finish back panel, that's a Moto E, and the Huawei Honor Holly has a glossy finish. So this build quality wise, both the devices are really good in this price point. One has a glossy finish, one has a matte finish, so depending upon your preference you can decide which is better. Ideally we would say that both have really great build quality. The matte finish on Moto E is bound to get dirt and dust, but on the Honor Holly you don't face that issue. So overall both the devices come with a great build quality. Now moving on to the display of these two devices. The Moto E comes with a 4.3-inch QHD display, while the Huawei Honor Holly comes with a 5-inch HD display, and you can clearly see that the display on the Huawei Honor Holly is much better than the QHD display on the Moto E. The sharpness and the vibrant display on the Honor Holly is really much better than the Moto E. So in the display aspect, the real winner is the Huawei Honor Holly because it has an HD display and the other one has only a QHD display. Now moving on to the software and performance. Both the devices run Android KitKat, but the Moto E has the latest version of that is 4.4.4 KitKat, while the Huawei Honor Holly comes with 4.4.2 KitKat. And in the Moto E there isn't much of a customization, and it looks more or less like the core Android, while on the Honor Holly you can see this is the emotion UI, which kind of have multiple home screens instead of the app drawer. So you can customize the UI with multiple home screens. You can create folders and add apps. So that's the custom UI, but the notification center on both the devices are similar, and there isn't much of a change here. So you can see here Huawei hasn't customized the notification center on this device. On the performance aspect, we would say the Huawei Honor Holly has a slightly better performance because of the quad-core MediaTek processor. The Moto E is in behind because there is no lag or issues with the Moto E, but since it has a dual-core processor, you can see there is a hint of lag when you do multitasking or you run heavy graphic rich apps or even memory consuming apps. So but in the Honor Holly you don't see any performance issues as such. We have tested the device for a lot of games and apps, and we didn't see any issues, and the touch response is also good. The gaming performance on both the devices are almost similar. We didn't see any big issues with any lag or graphic quality. Both the devices exhibit pretty decent gaming abilities. On the storage front, the Moto E comes with only 4 GB of internal storage, and although you can expand via micro SD card, you can't install apps on the SD card. That's a limitation with the KitKat, and this is where the Honor Holly comes better, because it has 16 GB in default storage, and that's really useful if you are installing too many apps and games. So the 16 GB can also be expanded by micro SD card, but again you cannot install apps directly onto the SD card, so that's again a problem with the KitKat. So overall, in the performance and software side, we would say that the Honor Holly wins here. But there is one area where the Moto E wins, that's the latest software. The Android Lollipop update is already promised by the company, whereas in the case of the Honor Holly, there's no mention of any updates coming up. So that's one area where the Moto E wins. And the camera on these two devices, the Moto E comes with a 5 megapixel fixed focus camera, while the Huawei Honor Holly comes with 8 megapixel autofocus camera. The camera on the Honor Holly is feature rich. You have lots of options like the beauty face, you have panorama, you have live images, then you have HDR and a host of other features, while on the Moto E the interface is pretty basic and not much to choose from. So in the camera aspect, the quality of photos taken, we would say that the Honor Holly wins by a huge margin, because the camera quality is much better, and it also has an autofocus camera when compared to the fixed focus camera on the Moto E. Now moving on to battery life, again here the clear winner is Huawei Honor Holly with a bigger battery capacity. Although the screen on the device is a bit higher, we can say that the battery performance is also slightly better on the Huawei Honor Holly. So that was the detailed comparison of the Huawei Honor Holly with the Moto E. Hope you like this video. If you have any specific queries on this, just drop a comment and we'll be glad to help you out with your queries. If you like this video, do hit the like button, subscribe to YouTube channel for more updates, and thanks for watching this video.